slowly, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. The rhythm like stop, stop. The rhythm like. Okay. Is there anyone who's still super confused? Okay. All right. Tell you what. If you're at the back and you can't see me, do you want to come down to the centre aisle so you can actually see what I'm doing, or you can just worry from the back. That's also fine. Right, let's do what we did last time and do it twice round through. So we'll go stomp and clap the rhythm like that, stomp on, and do that twice. Okay? And a little bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stomp and clap the rhythm like that. Stomp, stomp and clap the rhythm like that. Stomp and clap the rhythm like that. Stomp, stomp and clap the rhythm like that.
What we're going to do now is we're going to explain, we're going to write down where our fantastic places are. I explained tonight, this is a skill we're going to need for Geography GCSE, so we're getting ahead early on this, alright? Could you please put your hand up if you know where your fantastic place is? Let's have a couple of examples. Will, could you tell me what's your fantastic place? Portugal. Anywhere specific in Portugal? Lagos, that's brilliant. And you're going to write me a really good description of where that is? Brilliant. Kyle, where's your place?
The Alps, I'm really interested in like Australia.
Fantastic. Do you know if it's in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere?
Isn't it in the northern?
What do we think?
I think it's southern.
Which one, northern or southern? Southern hemisphere, okay, southern hemisphere. So we're going to start zoomed out with the hemisphere, then the continent, then the country, and then places that are close by. If we're writing a geography answer, what are the key words we need to use?
Southern or northern hemisphere.
Good, southern and northern hemisphere. What words do we never want to say in geography? Yeah, Will.
Above.
Above, we don't want to say above, yes.
Near.
Near, we don't want to say near.
Below.
Below, what do we say instead of below?
Like miles.
We could say miles, but what's our word instead of below? Instead of saying something's below something, what do we say?
South.
South there, okay? Right guys, can you give me a thumbs up if you understand what you need to do and you're ready to start? Okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I want a brilliant paragraph. Let's go. Brilliant. Good job.
So what do we think drama involves then? What skills might we explore? Yeah, go on, start off.
Their acting skills.
What sort of acting skills?
Like the ability to act out an action.
And what did we say actions were a minute ago?
Hand gestures.
Good, lovely. So thinking about hand gestures, yes.
When you're on a stage, don't be shy, like when you're talking to the audience.
So what are we building, beginning with C? Anyone help? If we're on stage, we're building confidence. Lovely, well done. What else are we developing, Mission?
Being confident and active.
Good, and being active, not being scared, getting up and giving it all a go.
Right, girls, let's get going. Are we ready? Okay, who's in this area? There's nobody here. Me. Well done, Chloe. Good pressure. Go on then, lovely. Who's back here? Okay. Excellent, good girls. Dribble it up then.
Two touch passes. Okay, get your shape. Get your shape, guys. Where are we going to start with, guys? 2 touch passing. 1.
Go on, win that.
Lucky, look up. You've got to work off the ball now. Good. Where's your pass?
Yes, well done, Tommy.
What does the Hall of Man suggest about the religious version of creation? Callum?
I suggest that it's a myth.
That it's a myth. Number 3, what is creationism? Lucy?
The theory that God created everything.
The image might represent. Any ideas? Jamil?
Does it represent the inspector's speech?
Okay, in what way might it represent the inspector's speech at the end?
How he was saying that everyone's intertwined with the community.
Brilliant, good memory. Yep, good. Jamie, you can see something?
Yeah, I was going to say the
Same
same.
thing. Okay, right, let's have a look. So, Eric is revealed to be a heavy and consistent drinker. Okay, Eric reveals that he met Ava and sexually assaulted her, but barely remembers it as he was so drunk. Okay, Ava Smith refused to marry Eric or to take any money from him. Why did she refuse to marry him or take any money from him, Louise?
Well, he refused to marry. She refused to marry because he didn't actually know her.
Yeah.
And stop it basically and seem to remember before he starts using you with anybody again.
up your tennis ball. Go and put it back in the box.
Hands up then, guys. Who can tell me about beryllium? Yeah.
So beryllium, the chemical symbol for it is Be, capital B. And then the protons it contains is 4.
Yeah.
The electrons that it contains is also 4.
Yeah.
And the neutrons that it contains is 5.
Excellent. Well done. Good. Brilliant. So what we've got then is we've got our mass number and our atomic number. So I want you to work your way through these. I'm going to add the last one on the bottom as well to make the first 20. And you need to be able to calculate your protons, electrons, neutrons, and your chemical. Romeo, alright, he is sceptical about love, he is sceptical about faith, and he's sceptical about what dreams and the impact of that. So that is really, really important when it comes to our theme later on. Okay. Can you just check, in the evidence section, have you included at least 3 facts? So for example, if you've written about territorial terms as your point, have you included no submarines were allowed, 100,000 restricted in the army, 6 submarines, okay? You want to get in the habit of Peel of making sure you've got at least 3 specific bits of information consistently in each of your 3 paragraphs. I know we've only written 1, but in the real thing you'd write 3, okay? So, what I would like us to move on to look at now is we're going to have a look at a bit of a weird and wacky source, actually. It's got a vampire in it, and it's got a couple of bats. Oh, not that one, actually. Or just leave that one for now. That's a different one. It's got a couple of bats in it, and it's got a vampire in it. But I promise you there is a link here to the Treaty of Versailles. When you get your sheets, or I'm just passing them back, if you haven't got a sheet yet, you can have a look at the front. The source is a cartoon. It's a political cartoon, okay? And it's produced by a German cartoonist.
What did he want Romeo to do at this party? And we'll see what his advice was. Josh, what was his advice? Yes, he said examine other beauties. And he said a really funny word. I'll make you think that swan, Rosaline, is actually a crow. Because I'll show you such beautiful girls at this party. Examine other beauties. Has anyone ever heard the phrase other fish in the sea? You might have even had that advice from some of your friends when you've been to school. Yes, so Benvolio says, oh, we'll examine other beauties. He's going to take him to this party tonight. He's going to cheer him up at the Capulet Ball. Put down an obvious answer to this, guys. Why is it surprising he's in love with this girl, Rosaline, who I've already said to you, we're not even going to really get to know or meet at all. Just 30 seconds on that.
Of course, it's not going to be looking over to my house up there. So just walk down, please. Brilliant. Okay, so from my class, can anybody tell me where Jocelyn's character is leading from?
Really golden sort of yellows to try and sort of get this sort of feel, and you can see the intensity. You can sort of see that you get the sunlight reflecting on the actual haystacks themselves. Whereas the other ones, you won't get that intensity at all. So you can get a completely different feel based on the use of colour. So each piece of work he did, he would take the same viewpoint and again, using much more intensity of red. And sometimes, like I said, he would use what you call artistic license. He's making the colours seem brighter than they actually are to get across in their work. So the same scene, but gives you a completely different feel. So you can use, when you're doing your own little landscapes, you can might say to yourself, for this one, I'm going to be using much more blues and purples together. The extra one I'm going to do is I'm going to use sort of reds and oranges to get an intensity of colour when you're working from it.
Okay. Then, let's have a look at what happens in different ones. So, here we have got the North American plate and the Pacific plate, and they move this direction sideways. Okay? Where you have the South American plate and the Nazca plate, they move towards each other. And do you remember last lesson? Oh, hello. Oh, sorry. Do you remember last lesson I said what if the oceanic plate and the continental plate are moving close to each other, which one sinks under because it is heavier? Jakob.
The oceanic plate.
The oceanic. If you have continental and oceanic meeting, the oceanic will always go under because it's heavier. Well done, Jakob.
so small. Okay.
Should we have more PE lessons to make our body be more
No, you don't need more PE lessons. PE lessons are absolutely fine. You have several hours of PE a week. You walk to and from school. You go out and socialise with friends. So being active is part of it. But 70%, 80% of your diet, okay, is really important. Okay, you should all be exercising every day.
If we don't eat for like 3 days,
Yeah.
how does our body just die?
So what will happen is if you don't eat the food, okay, if you're not putting the food in, your body will find the energy from other places, okay, and that's when you start to become poorly and unwell. In year 10 and year 11, we look into detail about where that energy is stored and where that comes from. Okay, if you don't eat for 3 days, if you don't drink for 3 days, you'll find yourself in a bit of difficulty in terms of your body.